So I'm going to show how to make a coil pot. We're going to start with a base. We're going to take a piece of clay and we're going to roll it out so that it is flatter and an even thickness. Use these two boards so that when you roll over the top, it gets to be an even thickness all the way across. Then, to make a circle, you can cut one out of a piece of file folder. I just traced a roll of tape with a pencil and cut it out. Put that on top of your slab that you just made, and then you can trace around it. To make coils, you're going to start off with a piece of clay and smoosh it first of all into more of a breadstick. So if you think about going to Olive Garden, they get you the basket of breadsticks. They're kind of a long, lumpy shape like this. Then you're going to start rolling it into a coil. Now here's the best way to do it. If you have your fingers kind of spread open like this, and then when you roll back and forth, you actually start to pull them apart from each other, that actually kind of stretches your coil out and it allows you to make more of an even coil. And again, these do not have to be perfect circles. We're not looking for that. We're looking for them to be about an even thickness all the way across. And again, if it starts to get too big so it's unmanageable, set that aside. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so you've got your coil. While your other breadsticks and coils are over here, put a wet paper towel over them so that they don't dry out too much. Then I'm going to start to attach my coil. Whenever you're attaching any pieces of clay, the one to the other, you use the score, slip, and seal method. So I'm going to use my wire brush and score around the outside. I'm going to do that same thing to my coil. Rough up the surface so that the pieces actually stick to each other. Use your slip, dab that on. Don't use a whole ton of it. We're not looking for this to be really sloppy and soupy. Just a little bit to kind of help to hold those pieces together. Then start to press your coils on top. Break that off where it comes together. And then we're going to start building up the next layer. You don't want to blend each layer as you go because that's going to take forever. That's also going to lead to your walls not being an even thickness. So and same thing, we're going to stack that. If you want your coil pot to go straight up, then you want to make sure that those coils are stacked evenly on top of each other. If you have them stacked more toward the outside, your coil pot is going to start to go out like this, which you might want sometime. If you have the coils stacked inside, it's going to start to go in. But if you want it straight up and down, you want them stacked on top of each other. After you have maybe 3 or 4 coils stacked up, then you want to blend them together. And you can either use your fingers to blend them together, to kind of blend across the surface, or especially on the inside, and for those of you who have nails, it's going to be a little bit harder to do that. So that's where you use a clay tool that's kind of more rounded, and that will work a lot better. In fact, I think I'm going to use this one. And you can just work on blending those surfaces together.